My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I kind of got to go down a deep dive of the concepts of, have we evolved to be here or were we created to be here? Because two of these routes can lead you to different understandings. And those different understandings can lead you to look at the world a completely different way. So the first thing I want to say is, we evolved. These dogs they've evolved from wolves, right? And wolves are very interesting animals that they definitely don't care about taking out a human being's life. Just going through history and looking at different even wars that we had with human. Wolves intervene and we had to stop fighting to be able to take the wolves out. Because the wolves don't, in reality, give too much of a care about us as human beings. So if we're evolved, that definitely means that we are food, which is prey to the wolves. I'm talking natural ones. I'm not talking about these caged, we're taking care of. If we as humans intervene to start to feed these animals, life is different. The wolf will give us respect. But if we are just living on the outskirts and the wolf is hungry, we will be food for that mama wolf to come to bring back to her kids. It's just what it is. It's just the way the world is in reality. When you just look at it, bare bones to bare bones. So in reality, that really gets me to thinking of, then what were we evolved from? I'm going to say this, but don't take it in a negative way, depending on I don't like these terms because I don't like it when people even use these words with me personally. And it just kind of, people have said this to me. Mark, back in the days, they used to call me Anthony, but you're just a monkey. That's all that you are. People would say that to me and kind of trying to put it in like a derogatory way. But in reality, straight up, if we've evolved, science states that that's where we all came from. Every single human being today, we all came from monkeys. We used to be a monkey. We used to be monkeys or gorillas or whatever they try to say. But nowadays, they try to use that term to people with skin color similar to mine. They would always call me a half-breed monkey. Man, people used to be ruthless to me back in the days. It's just crazy. I'm surprised no one says that to me anymore. They used to call me a half-breed monkey. And if that's what we came from, what are we? Are we just the animal? Because in reality, if you don't believe that you were created and that God put you here, then you are an animal. And it's weird to me on how we have said humans today that don't believe in anything, that just run this world and think that they are different than an animal and they have no beliefs. If you believe in evolution, you are an animal. You are 100% to the core. Everything about you, all your understanding came from some lineage before that used to be an animal on this planet that somehow has gained some sort of different level of intelligence to be able to continuously keep on growing and moving on this planet. So the differences I can say is such as like, this is the only thing that I can compare because I can't really compare. When we say human to a monkey, it's just like, I don't know, it's strange to me. There's some similarities, I guess you can say, in our genetic makeup, but as far as what we do, how we act, what we make happen, all that, man, we're just nothing of the same. But a wolf to, say, a domesticated dog like these, there's a whole lot of comparisons. And I can say a domesticated dog, that's one thing someone can say, a human is living better than a monkey, where I can say a domesticated dog is definitely living better than a wolf. A wolf may be able to have its set freedom, but it's in reality living in a constant struggle of survival. It's not thriving. Where these dogs, man, they live a cake, easy, beautiful, they live in an oasis working with us as humans. They live in this like blissful, everything's given to them. Everything is easy. Anytime they have a need, the need is being met. Anytime we're like smothered, and especially in the year of 20 of the 24, moving into the 25, my goodness, the way we treat these dogs. So they have a better life in a sense of they know how to, straight up, use us more to be able to get what it is that they need. And then they used us enough to be able to get to the place that they are. That they seem to be more intelligent than a wolf, but in reality, are they? Are they more capable? Are they more able? Are they more anything than what a wolf is? Because in reality, at the end of the day, these dogs are potentially weaker because of how they're pampered, because of how they use their ways to be able to get into a human being's heart, to be able to get us to give them everything that they need, that they don't need to worry about anything. That in reality, it's forced them to be very, very, very weak, very soft. And because if it comes down to me putting these two dogs here, it's not compared to my Dalmatian, because everyone knows Dalmatian, they soft. They're not they got energy to run, run, run. It's all they're meant to do. They don't really have the same type drive as like this German Shepherd here. If I stick my Shepherd in the middle of I don't even know where wolves live anymore in reality. If I stuck him there with those wolves, he'd dinner in half a second. If he would even know, I mean, he'd probably live a couple of days because I've been teaching him. But say you never train the dog how to even go find food, how to hunt, how to do anything. That dog would be gone in a couple of days. It wouldn't last. It wouldn't go anywhere. Kahi, I need you that far ahead. This dog wouldn't last at all, like at all. And it would be a disaster in reality for him. So even though he's gained a level of intelligence, his softness to this world kind of makes him be not an animal. And that's something I can say I can compare to us as humans maybe in the same way. That we as humans, we're animals because we come from monkeys and we've evolved from them. So because that's some people say, it's the funny stuff. Everyone's always got arguments on coming from monkeys and how come if we evolved from monkeys, how come monkeys are still there? Same thing I can say is if dogs evolved from wolves, how are wolves still there? It's because they just branched off and started doing their own stuff. Doesn't mean that the whole species is just going to disappear. It just means that some decided to do something different. And that means that some of us as humans changed from being the said monkey, which is still weird if the only reason in reality the dog turned from the wolf or domesticated animal, I would say, because of us as being humans that intervene. How would anything come in to intervene to make that monkey want to choose to be and do something different? Something must have intervened. Because if there was nothing that intervened, then what would make the monkey say to itself, hey, I want to do something different. I want to be something. I want to go over there because those things over there are able to give us an easier life, such as give us easier food, such as give us easier shelter, such as give us better health care, such as give us everything. Let's go over there because they seem to be helping us out to be able to get into a better place. It's just things that, I don't know, when I listen to thousands of hours of people on the whole creation side, and I probably listen to more evolutionary stuff than I've even listened to as far as like preachers and people talk about the Bible in a way. Because it fascinates me, because there's always like something that's just missing in stuff that's going on. And it makes me question, like, how can we be animals, come from animals, and say that we are different than the animals, and try to portray to be something as if we are superior to these animals, when at the end of the day, all we are animals. Because that's the part that that doesn't make sense. What day was it that first monkey decided, I want to try and be something different? I want to do something different. I got a different level of intelligence in me, and I'm going to start to this. And then they made it, and their new kids came out to be this new so-called, say, supreme being that just we kept pushing and pushing and pushing to be able to get to the point that we are today, how we are as humans, how we decide to use the trees to mill them down to build our homes, and how we decide to mix sand and water and some other stuff to make concrete, and how we just do all this weird stuff. How we come out here and do something like this. We build this huge dam to be able to hold this water as a reservoir, so everyone in the city can be able to have a nice reservoir of water to be able to always have and always be able to maintain. How did we get to that point if nothing was like guiding us and leading us to be able to get to that point? It just miraculously happened. And to me, personally, that miraculously happened is more, that's why I always get stuck with the whole evolution thing, because that miraculous happening is a miraculous happening. It couldn't have just happened. Something had to intervene in a miraculous way for it to be able to happen. And it's just, that's the part that always confused me at the end of the day, is because every single person, not every single person, but almost every single person that I hear talk about the creation, they don't think that they're animals. They think that there's something different than it. They think that they're able to move and maneuver in a different way. And that's the part where that's the whole concept of all these scientists and all this stuff. with these people that are showing us in reality and proving to us that we are just animals because of the science projects they're able to do to us, because of how they're able to interact with us. Because most people, unfortunately, today are just working under a program as if you are the animal that people try to say, but yet that programming doesn't work on some humans. Some humans, it works really well. So we say almost in reality, most all humans, that works very well. But there's some humans that the programming just doesn't go anywhere, and it's not effective. And that's what I'm going to say is a weird phenomena that goes on, but in reality, that's what has to happen. Because at the end of the day, if you're good, come on. If you believe that you are not an animal, but yet you don't believe that there's a God that created you, you're going to be very easily controlled, very easily manipulated, because you're going to be moving off what someone is basically telling you and forcing you, that there is nothing more than just you, that this is just it. That's a very, 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 very easy person to be able to control. But when someone believes in something that it's not just it, there is more, that's going to be a very, very hard person to control, especially the people that are more into believing for 100% fact that they are not said of this world, that they are of something much greater and much different. It's going to be very hard to be able to convince that person to just follow a line and step up and just take whatever's coming your way. It's going to be very hard to be able to control that person. And that's why, for me, at the end of the day, I personally can see why someone in this world can be so harsh and so firm and so much on trying to make sure that we cut all of any sort of religion-based stuff out of our society. Because there's not only just obviously one religious-based system, but pretty much any and all religious-based systems basically state that there's more than just we evolved and we're here. So any and every single one of them is going to be a pushback towards someone stating that we're all just animals and we're not anything more than that, because we just evolved and we just got here and there's nothing more than what it is that we've got going on. That's something that just it's really fascinating to really think about. And at the end of the day, with the concept of being controlled, because these animals, as much as said the domesticated dog has evolved from the wolf at the end of the day does not like to be controlled. It likes to just do what it likes to do. It likes to be able to be free. It likes to be able to just hunt how it wants to hunt. It wants to live how it wants to live. But these domesticated animals here, they are in reality straight up just under control all the time. They live in houses. They go for rides in our cars. They put these leashes on and they accept it. I mean, I have so many dogs. I put a leash on a dog and it calms them down. That's how my Pyrenees is. If he's looking all anxious and all wild, I can just put a leash on the dog, and he just he'll stand right next to my side, lay down, and just nap and hang out. And he just stops. It's something in reality new that I've been working with him to figure out how to be able to get him through some of his anxiousness that he's got outside of me. I need to get him another dog because he needs a partner to be able to work with out on the land. But I'm trying my best not to get another dog, because what if the second dog, he makes it turn into him in reality? Now I have two nervous dogs out there, but that's at the end of the day the breed of a Pyrenees. They're barking the threat away out of fear, not out of confidence and toughness. But that's beside the point. But these dogs are always under control. They're under my control. Even that dog, as much as they don't really listen to humans all that much, he has no choice but to listen to me. He's under my control at all times for everything. And they're in reality happy about it. They're extremely happy about it. But then there's us as humans. When someone says to us, well, there's something big walking in there. That's definitely not a deer. That must be some people sometimes lose their goats. Those ibex goats. Kahi. Those ibex goats, so they get lost in these woods. That's what it sounds like out there running around. Big stuff running around. But sorry, these walking talks. I like me some walking talks. This is just life going on. This is just the world. I can't program and predict what's going to. Stuff just happens, and in reality, that's kind of. I like that in the sense of me trying to do like dog videos talking about how to get a dog in a better place and stuff, because I can't stage what's going on right now to try to make me be away. It just is away. Life happens, and what do you do when life happens? And that's like you can't really, like, in reality, train for that. You got to just you're just in it. It just is what it is. It's just that's what I like about, I don't know, at the end of the day, what it is that I just keep doing with making these videos and keep trying to progress more and more and more. But that's the concept of, again, I don't want to be controlled. I want to be in a situation that I'm able to more likely freely do what it is that I want to do. But we've got people that are always, I don't want to be controlled, but yet you're fine with accepting the fact that there, and basically, like, is no God, there is no nothing more, and you're trying to say that you're not an animal. But animals, at the end of the day, pretty much want to be controlled. That's just what they're all about. But then someone can hit me back with the other side of that is, well, you've got a God that's controlling you and telling you what to do, telling you how to be. You know, that's a topic for a whole nother day. There's all kinds of theories and all kinds of stuff that I really enjoy being able to talk about. Man, Ophi, you're really getting it right now. I appreciate that. So she's on leash because this is my running trail. I want her to, every time I come out here, to pull like a absolute maniac. So this is one of my longer trails. It's just shy under 14 miles doing the whole thing. So I want her pulling like a just beast mode every time I come out on this trail. I never want her to think like that's not an option, because basically, like, road running and running on paths like this is going to be most of my races with her. Unfortunately, the trails we don't really have. So I want her to know to go hard, never ever have in her mind that a trail like this, a paths like these, to hold back. So I do a lot to try to convince her to do what everyone doesn't want your dog to do, pull. I want her to pull harder than she's ever even able to even think about being able to pull. And at the same time, that's why I've been able to figure out how to get dogs not to pull, because I'm convincing them to be able to do it. And it's a very, very interesting experience. But it's something that is just interesting about this level of, if we are out here believing and thinking that we're, what's your name? Kahi, come here. If we're out here believing that we are something different than what an animal is, or are we out here believing that we are just the same as what the animals are? And I don't, at the end of the day, I don't know why, but I just, hold on a second. All right, sorry. I don't know what it is. I just don't live in this world as if it's mine. And I just don't really care to have all kinds of people all in my video all the time and not having their said consent, even though I guess technically I could do what I want, but that's just not how I live. I like to respect people's privacy. Everyone doesn't want to be in the middle of my stuff. It just is what it is. But then again, there's some folks, like, I can say how I am, like that, and others that just, you do whatever you want to do and you don't care what anybody has to think or say. I used to watch videos like that all the time of people doing that just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. And things that don't make sense to me, I have no choice but to just continue to keep on watching and try to figure out what's going on here. And that's something that I can say is this whole evolution thing just doesn't make sense to me. And on how, if we've all evolved, then that means that all we are just animals, and we are no different. And if we are just animals, then at the end of the day, we are just prey to most all of these animals. That we are not anything of a substantial value, that all that we have are weapons. And that's why at the end of the day, and especially like a lot of the wars that we were having back in the days when the wolves are coming in, your weapons still aren't enough to be able to keep these animals away from us. They will still try to keep coming after us because they see a huge source of food. Now, I mean, the average man is what? I don't know how tall they are, 5'9", 10, 5'7", something like that. But just say 185 pounds, that's a whole lot of food for an animal to be able to consume and to be able to share, compared to, and how slow we are, how much we can't hide, how ineffective we are as animals on this planet to actually be able to survive. We are so ineffective. We are the slowest, the largest, I don't want to use that word, but the dumbest as far as being able to like street smart, I can say, like woods, living life, land smart. We are just the one that shouldn't make it. We shouldn't make it if we are just animals. We just evolved from animals. We shouldn't make it. We shouldn't be here. There's no way that we could possibly be here. Something must have came in and intervened to be able to give us said a level of intelligence to be able to work and be able to do what it is that we're capable of being able to do. It didn't just evolve to happen that way, because there's no way that the first group that would have been, or say the first monkey that decided, hey, let's go do this, and the second monkey decided to go with them and they decided to have kids, they would have been eaten up in a weekend coming out into the woods. They wouldn't have made it. There's no way that they needed some sort of shelter. They needed some sort of safety. They needed some sort of intervention, I don't know if that's the right word to use, to be able to get themselves into a place that they would be able to stay safe and be able to survive. We wouldn't just be able to branch off and just be able to be here, because animals would have just, the outside predator animals to us would have just came out and just absolutely devoured us. They would have just destroyed us to be absolutely nothing. So there's some things that just don't quite make sense when I'm just sitting out here looking at these animals. And that's the concept of some things of why I believe that a lot of us are struggling with a lot of these animals today. Kahi, come here. We're struggling with these animals out here. Come here, with me, not with her. Thank you. Sorry. Hi. We're out here struggling because we're for one, looking at them as if we are something that we aren't, as opposed to being what we should be with these animals, being compassionate with them, being caring with them, being kind with them, as opposed to just coming in and just saying, I can just do whatever the heck I want to do. Because when you come in and just say you're going to do whatever you want to do, they're going to come, it's going to be a hard mission for us to be able to try to actually be able to live on these lands. We're just going to be in a constant battle all the time, constantly fighting over and over and over again. And that's something that at the end of the day, we as humans should be able to figure out how to be able to get away from all of the fighting. When in reality, most of the fighting stems from because we don't believe anything more than just what we are. And when we don't believe anything, the more we are, the more that we think that we are the main show, we are the main character, we are what's it, we are all that matters. And when we think that we are all that matters, we can come to a forested area like this and just burn it down and just don't care, because we're just caring about what we're going to get right here, right now, the same way that the animals are. Not worrying about our future, not worrying about destroying the world, but just living in it because I want what I want right now. It's a very interesting concept when we're in these lands just living and doing what it is that we're doing, thinking that we are something great, but in reality, we're being force-fed, in a way of saying our propaganda, of we are just evolved and there's nothing more. So that means you're nothing more than an animal. I don't know how I haven't even been thinking about that in reality, but it's just something that's just really been brought to my attention. Thank you. You guys good? So far, I don't know why, when I go down trails like these and if my Kahi is off leash, people usually get a little nervous. So far today, people's been pretty chill about it. They haven't shown any signs of scaredness behind them. And I think that's mainly because of the differences. I think that I work with this dog, that he no longer has this weariness when he sees people. He gets to chant. He knows for a fact, I'll never know anything 100%, but he knows 99% that it's his choice that to get away from the person. He doesn't have to meet them. And that's what's really relaxed him down. Because for a while he thought like, I gotta meet all these people, and it would make him like, just for one, have to bark and look crazy and wild at them. But now, since he knows that he doesn't have to meet them, that they're just there, then, and he could just walk away from them or go the other way. He doesn't have to put himself in an interaction with them. And he's just so chill. He's so chill. He cares less about seeing people and being around people and dogs and everything. Even yesterday, he doesn't meet all dogs, he meets some. Yesterday we ran into a dog along the way, and I don't care if they meet if they're off leash, because the other person also, in reality, never really cares when the dogs are off leash if they say hi. But he just looked at that little thing and he just kept on walking. Like, I want nothing to do with you. It would make him get hostile and have to bark when he would think like, I have to meet this dog. And I tell him like, no, you don't have to. You can just move along. and it's really relaxed him down. Because again, this dog here, this Dalmatian, I really like her for being around those dogs that people are like, oh my goodness, my dog is crazy, he's barking, he's gonna do something aggressive. And she'll just look at the dog and calm the dog down and then walk over to the dog, and everyone's always surprised. I'm like, your dog isn't out to harm. Your dog is just frustrated, worst case scenario, scared, too excited. It's just, there's nothing wrong with your dog. It just needs more exposure. And in reality, it needs to be around something else that's able to actually help it and not hurt it. A lot of the stuff I see people using their dogs to try to so-called help other dogs, it's actually hurting the other dog. The dog that you're working with needs to be able to be, for one, up front, extremely calm. No matter how crazy the other dog gets, your dog needs to be calm. It neutral as all can be. That can help out so many dogs. So many folks out here are bringing out these arrogant and cocky and pushy and demanding dogs and trying to put them around, come for a water break, put them around for the so-called help the other dogs out, but all it's doing is just making it worse and worse and worse. I definitely don't believe that I was evolved and I'm an animal living on these lands. I believe that my flesh, my body, compared to the animals is no different. But there's something different inside of me that's able to do, which catches the animal's attention. Like, cause it's something that's in us. It's our intentions, it's our desires, it's something different in us that the animals start to get, like, they start to want to be able to figure out how to be able to get around, because they're like, that's neat. I want to learn how to get close to that. Like, the main things that always question is weird are the animals like the parrots, and I mean, even like down to a crow and a raven. How are people able to convince them to, like, be able to hang out with them? These birds can fly away. They can fly away. They don't give a crap about us, but yet they will stay with us, keep playing tricks with us, do stuff with us. These dolphins, they can swim away. They don't need to be nowhere near us, but yet they want to come close to us. There's something in us as humans that sparks something wild, because in reality, at the end of the day, we are the only things out here that do that to the other animals. You don't really see monkeys training birds. It just doesn't happen. You don't really see dogs training the, this would be cool if I could convince dogs to be able to train cats. It doesn't, nothing else does that but us as humans. We bring in all these animals and we call them as pets and stuff, but we're the ones that bring these animals in and do stuff with them. So there's something different about us that's extra. Our body is the same as the body of a dog, but the spirit of the dog, it's under a program, and it just is what it is. But the spirit of the human, we're the ones that are able to do something and be something completely different. That we don't have to just be on a program. We can decide to literally just up over it. Because a lot of people don't know. You don't know me. But how can you go from being one way one day and then the next day deciding, and not even just deciding, but actually getting into it and just following through with it? Just completely changing everything about your life. That's why it's hard for me to talk to any of my family, anything about my farm stuff. Because it's like, dude, you don't know nothing about that. None of our family knows nothing about that. Like, what are you doing? It's so strange. It's so weird. But somehow I, as a human, could do that. These dogs can't do that. This Dalmatian can't decide one day, I'm just going to turn into a herding, moving dog. That's just not what she is. It's not what she represents. It's like this shepherd could just say, I just want to turn, I don't even know what he can do. Shepherds are pretty universal in a lot of things. Same thing with this Dalmatian, pretty universal. But I like just turn him into what a livestock guardian dog is. It's not who they are. They'll never just wake up and say, yep, this is what I want to do today. No, they just do the same stuff. That's the part with me I can say is there's clearly something different between a human and an animal. Maybe the body may be the same, but we have something in us that's able to do something that is just absolutely incredible.